Underdog Fantasy is the place to play if you're a fan looking to cash in on some of your favorite athletes' performances. Available in over 30 states, including New York, California, and Texas. Just call your shot on higher or lower on 2 or more player stats for your chance to win real money. Use our promo code KFTV for up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a free pick. So download the Underdog Fantasy app today and turn every bucket into a W. We had ourselves a bum night, ladies and gentlemen. And the bums tonight were the New York Knicks. There's just no other way around it, man. Destroyed. Brutalized. Demolished. Embarrassed. Punked. Beat up, beat down. I mean, how many more adjectives do you want to use to describe this game? The Knicks went out there and did not show up. It was a John Cena night, right? We joke about that John Cena, you can't see me. They did not show up tonight. They were a complete zero, and literally zero when you look at, Mikal Bridges, 0 points. OG, 4 points. But even bigger, you had no shows from your big man. Point guard getting exposed on both ends of the floor. Bench getting exposed, literally, again. And in the end, when this was a battle of the number 1 team in the West, number 3 team in the East, MVP hopefuls, the real MVP showed out tonight. His name was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and he put on a basketball clinic. And it was so interesting because, everything we talked about on today's pre-show kind of came true. John Schmelk, when we shout out to John, and he was like, I wonder, which Shai's going to show up tonight. Because in the first matchup, he had 33 points. He was efficient, but he wasn't that, MVP will, right? And I even wondered, I'm like, damn, was this the Shai coming off of a back-to-back? Or did we really do a great job on him? And tonight he said, nah, it was the former. I was just a little tired. Because tonight, the real MVP showed out on the Madison Square Garden floor. And it was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, bro. Talk about this one, man. This just disgraceful. Disgraceful, man.
Awful, man. I mean, this, just from the jump, I thought we were about to be in for what looked like to be a dogfight. For 5 minutes, we were stuck at 2-2, and then it's like, okay, this is going to be a low-scoring affair. Absolutely not. Thunder turned it up in the second quarter, just like the Knicks did, right? Last game, Knicks turned it up in the second quarter, owned the third. They just couldn't close out. Thunder said, we're going to show you how to actually be a championship contender team. We're going to show you how you turn it up, both ends of the court, defensively, offensively, and how to close out. And it was so bad, CP. This is how you know it was really bad. By the beginning of the fourth quarter, Tibbs waved the white flag and put in the bench.
That's how bad it was.
That's how you know it was that bad.
Yeah.
That's how you know it was that bad. And don't even look at the score. The score is so deceiving. 126-101.
No.
This team,
they lost by 30, bro. They lost by 30.
Dude,
they lost by 30.
This team, it was ugly. There's so many things we could talk about, and I know people want to talk about Tibbs, this, that, and sure. There's blame to go all around. If you want to get to Tibbs and do a little bit of that, here's something. I didn't like starting the second quarter with the entire bench. At no point should Tom Thibodeau have both Brunson and Cat. Tonight, Bridges deserved to be on the bench, but at no point should you have no scores out there, especially when Deuce McBride is coming back from injury, hasn't shot a basketball in over a week, and now you're going to rely on him to be your scoring punch against the Thunder second unit that has Isaiah Joe, who's a bucket, all right? And you also got Jalen Williams out there. You got J-Dub out there, who's another good offensive scorer for them. How do you go about that? But regardless of X's and O's and stuff of that nature, the Knicks just showed up flat. They did not come out to play. They didn't execute defensively. This is the biggest thing. Defensively, they are atrocious, CP. They are this is a horrible defense. I talked about at the beginning of the season when we played the Boston Celtics. I said this team was going to give up too many threes. I did not like seeing what Boston did to us. And they did it. The Thunder did it again to us tonight, man. Isaiah Joe. All right. It wasn't Aaron Wiggins last time. It was Isaiah Joe tonight. Okay? This team shot 52% from downtown. And people were saying, oh, it's going to be an anomaly because it's only the Celtics. No. The Knicks are the sixth worst team at guarding the three in the league. They are the worst, one of the worst teams at guarding the three. Okay? If you're not going to play defense, you're not going to go far at all. And already this team is middle of the pack when it comes to protecting the paint. If you're not going to have a rim protector or good point of attack defense in a day and age where the NBA is about getting downhill and kicking out to threes or just getting layups, you're not going to survive, man. And this team's not going to survive when they play a team like the OKC Thunder. Because Shai was just making it look easy. Isaiah Joe was making it look easy. Jalen Williams was making it look easy. All right? Easy. And if you want to go compete with those guys, you got to give some sort of resistance. I saw zero resistance tonight. There has no showing of a top 10 defense at all. All right? You can even point to last season where we at least be in games and give it a dogfight. There was nothing. No effort, man.
The thing is that every year, even when we started this, like let's take the last 4 years where they made the playoffs 3 out of the 4. Every year they've had at least one game where similar to this where they just let go of the rope and it's brutal. The issue is, they have flaws that are being exposed night in and night out. Like, this isn't just one of those, like, aberration. Like, all right, it's one of those nights, they take off. Hey, this other team got hot. You toss it to the game. And these are legit flaws that are being exposed that I'm just not sure there is a quick fix or a good fix for. The perimeter defense, point of attack. The captain is a sitting duck. All they did was Shai, guard, pick and roll, get the captain on him, go to work. Go to work. Cat in the drop coverage. This is the drop
That's
coverage
a walk
killer.
in the park,
right.
Man.
This is the drop coverage killer right here, right? Like holes, Isaiah Joe, right? The first game it was put some respect on this kid's name. It was Wiggins.
Aaron Wiggins.
Right? And I'm like, damn, Wiggins went up, but Joe didn't even, because, Joe's a flamethrower. He didn't even do it. So Joe had to make up for last week's dud and put it on us in our building. Absolute flamethrower from downtown. He
31
hit,
tonight,
bro,
CP.
He hit 1-3 from where Tibbs was standing, from the Chase logo. It was that bad, bro. And from your front end guys to the bench, look, I know McBride is coming back. He's got to reconfigure the gauges. You know what I'm saying? We're going to give McBride some time to get back up to speed and fine-tune the cannon. Because, right, all his joints was long. It was all the shots. It was a long night. It was a tough night at the park for McBride, but we're going to give him some time. But, Shamet getting exposed. Payne getting exposed. Where's the fix for that?
Dude, you need a top 10 defense. It ain't showing. This is not, and this is where, this is what we had a nice December, but this is the real stuff. All right. Now we're getting to the real part. Now we're getting to the meat of the season where it's like, all right, we got these difficult teams. We got Milwaukee on Sunday, bro. They have bounced back from where we beat them. Okay. I'm very curious to see where the Knicks stand up against them, because you have to make something defensively. Like, if you can't guard anybody, your offense can look great on some nights, as we see against the Denver Nuggets. But when it's not going, and it was not going tonight, all right? Even the good looks that they had, Bridges bricking, OG bricking, like, they tried to get their game going, which is, all right, we're going to drive, kick. They try to find guys cutting, didn't do any of that. And you see what happens when this team can't guard. The offense just goes out the window, and these guys get frustrated.
They get into hero ball, bro. It gets into hero ball again.
Dude, I saw Josh Hart dribble going side to side and do a step back there. I'm like, that is not your game. That is not your game whatsoever. It is in rhythm, simple playing. That is your game. Cat didn't play his game tonight. Brunson tried to do something, but, you got to shoot some threes too, man, especially in the third quarter where you're trying to make a comeback. You can't just be all in the middle. And then Bridges, he's not even getting to his, he's trying to get to his mid-range. He's not cutting. I don't see any back doors. I don't see getting out in transition. I don't see any of those things, man. And so if the fact of the matter is that if you can't guard defensively and your energy is all predicated on how well you're playing offensively, you're not going to go far. because the offense can come and go, as we've seen. All right, we've seen it already. This team could be lethal on some nights and gone the next. And we just played the #1 defensive team in the league, who doesn't even have Caruso out there and Chet.
Don't have
Okay, if they have both those guys, this is much worse than what it was tonight. All right, because who's guarding Chet? Who's guarding iHeart? And CP, you talk about what's the silver bullet for this team. We don't have height. We don't have athleticism. It keeps showing up time and time again. I know we played OKC last week, but it is showing. If you don't have youth, athleticism, and true like height on this team, where are we going, man? Like, no one can guard in the pick and roll. No one can guard on no one can close out on threes. Like,
it's bad.
What are we doing over here?
LD, go ahead and unmute your mic. LD.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear now. We good. Have to just
Coach Pivotal, what's going on, man?
What's good? What's good, man?
It's good. I'm gonna keep it quick.
Yeah.
I do not. You mentioned something about Cat. We're not gonna blame any players. What we're not gonna do. We're not gonna blame Cat. We're not gonna blame Josh Hart. We're not gonna blame Brunson. We're not blaming any players.
Why not?
Until we specify how Coach Tibbs does not make the game easy for them.
What is
if Dikembe Mutombo went 0 for 100 from 3, the question is not why is he not making his shots or why is he missing his shots. The question is why is Coach putting him at 3 to begin with? Karl Anthony Towns is going to do what Karl Anthony Towns is going to do. Number one, we should not depend on him to have to put the ball on the floor because we have enough talent to distribute the ball. Like this year is getting a little bit better, but every year we've been under Tibbs, we've ranked dead last in team assist.
Yes.
We've ranked dead last in pick and roll for the roll man, dead last in pace. Like, we cannot keep saying we're going to see these players fail in the playoffs when we see those red flags in the regular season. The only difference is in previous years, we could get away with it playing against average teams. Under the new CBA, with the 3-point in the game now and the youth, any given day is a possible loss. So you could play a team like Detroit, and because of the new CBA, you can't really tank anymore. You kind of have to get the best out of your roster. So a lot of the things that we see when we play contenders, we cannot blame these players. When we get into the playoffs and they have these bad habits that coach is playing them into, right? And they get exposed by good defense in the playoffs. We can't keep blaming the players if we're seeing what the coach keeps ignoring. We can't keep doing that. We just can't. The coach is not doing his job effectively enough. Simple and plain.
How do you fix the defense?
How you fix the defense? Stop playing them for 40 minutes each game because you need your legs to play good
40
defense.
minutes tonight, though.
You played them the whole year, 40 minutes of game. You're leading the league in like 5 of your starters are leading the league 15 minutes or 40 minutes in the top 15. So stop playing them so much and diversify so their legs are not tired. There's no way anybody's looking at Jalen Brunson right now and he looks like he has energy. The dude looks tired from the very start of the game. He also kind of looks like he's not injured, but he's trying really hard to just move around. The coach needs to do a better job, point blank, because what we always do is we'll blame Julius Randle, even though he has his flaws. But if the coach keeps playing him into his flaws, I mean, you can't blame the players, man. We got to hold the coach accountable. He's not doing a good enough job, point blank, period. Look at Hawk Porty. He comes into the game and he's obviously better than Sims, but he's not playing. The dude who just called earlier made a good point. Kolek is sitting on the bench. For what? We're down by 185 million points. Put him in the game. Like, the coach is just not doing his job.
Yeah, but listen, man, I'm blaming every single player on this team tonight. They play. These are the guys that you play. These are the guys that you pay max contracts to, and they all wet the bed tonight in their own building. From Brunson to Towns to Wingstop, everybody was bad tonight. Everybody. I'm putting this on the players, man.
There's like
Tibbs ain't out there shooting 12% from 3. They're stinking up the joint. Yeah.
I get from like I said, I get from an X's and O's standpoint, but this team was always going to come into the season with defensive questions from the get-go. Bro, we knew Brunson wasn't a lockdown defender, and we know that Cat isn't a lockdown defender. I don't care how well rested they are. They're not going to magically
They are what they are.
Lockdown defenders. We've seen this. Early in the season, we've seen this against the Rockets. Early in the season, did we not watch on national television what the Dallas Mavericks did to the New York Knicks? They embarrassed them like we got embarrassed tonight.
Yeah.
That was earlier in the season. So defense, questionable then. Defense, questionable now. It's not going to change. And let me say this. If a night for you isn't enough as an NBA player who should be well conditioned to just be good for 32, 36, 29, 33, and 30 minutes tonight, we got some serious problems if you can't be that well conditioned.
Yeah. Oh, and here come the minutes police. Oh, they're so tired. It's the tips. It's the minutes. Here come the minutes police. These $1 million max player athletes, they're down 70-42 at halftime with a game of rest. And we're still blaming the coach for the minutes. Oh, they can't hang. Well, if they can't hang, then this is not a championship team. Go get a brand new roster. The excuses about the minutes, they got the doors blown off them early in this game.
Wait a minute, hold on. Can I ask you a question?
So if that's the case, if they're tired, throw the towel in on the season and quit. Because there's no difference. They're playing every other night, right? All right, swap it in. Throw Kolick and Huck Porty, throw them in for the start and give these guys a couple of days off.
Wait a minute. Wasn't this the same team that dealt with a lot of injuries with Julius last season, Mitch, and then we had
give
all
me
of our
a
bench
break.
players?
What are we talking? Is this not NBA basketball? These people got so soft we come from the 90s, man. These guys are playing 2 days, practicing 2 days, and playing in games. By the halftime, this game was over with. They had a night to rest and chill, do podcasts, all of that. Don't give me the minutes excuse when they're getting the doors blown off by 30 points in the first half. They stunk up the joint.